Hey guys, welcome to Mitchell Lake and the Brainard Lake Recreation Area. This is the second in this area that I've shown you guys. I have a video also on Lake Isabel, one of my very favorite hikes in the area. Go watch that video if you haven't already. But today I'm on my way to Blue Lake. So this hike is about 6 miles round trip. It's about a mile from the trailhead to Mitchell Lake, 3 miles to Blue Lake, and then it's an out and back, so then you have to go back. And this time of year, it's before July 1st, so the trailhead actually isn't open yet, so I had to park at the Brainard Lake day use area, so that added about 3/4 of a mile each way. But you can take the road or you can take a little trail, so it's an easy 3/4 of a mile that you add on. Oh, and hey guys, I'm Audrey. I'm known as Glow Stick. In 2018, I quit my amazing job in Washington, D.C., through hike the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. Then I moved to this incredible state. Anyway, guys, let's get into the hike. So like the Lake Isabel Trail, this is in the Indian Peaks Wilderness in the Brainard Lake Recreation Area. There is a fee to get into the Brainard Lake Recreation Area. It's normally $12 and usually you have to pay it in cash, but in 2021 they're doing a timed entry system, so you actually have to get a reservation online before you go. It's still $12, but you also have to pay a $2 processing fee on top of that. And if you have a National Parks Pass, you can use that in lieu of the $12. I'll put a link to the timed entry reservations in the notes below. As I also mentioned with Lake Isabel, Brainard Lake is an amazing place to see moose. There are moose about here, so if you want to see a moose when you're in Colorado, or you live in Colorado and you haven't seen one yet, Brainard Lake is an excellent place to do it. Moose are crepuscular, meaning that they're most often out at dawn and dusk. So I've had the most luck seeing moose when I have gone to like an alpine lake at dawn. It's usually when I'm backpacking or camping, just because I'm not much of an early bird. This is another trail that I really recommend for visitors, especially if you're not used to the elevation, because even though this is at higher elevation, Brainard Lake is at 10,300 feet, and then of course you go up from there. But it's a fairly easy trail for such an incredibly gorgeous amount of scenery. According to Pro Trails, if you start at the Mitchell Lake Trailhead, which is the one that you would start at after July 1st when the trailhead is open, then there's about 900 feet of total elevation gain throughout the whole hike. And for getting to see these two incredible lakes and all these rushing creeks and just mountains beyond, super beautiful, that's really not bad at all. This is also a really pretty place to see wildflowers, especially around the creeks, although I would say Lake Isabel, the Lake Isabel Trail, is maybe a little bit better for wildflowers. Note that it would be pretty tough going to try to hike this trail between mid-October and mid-June because the road into Brainard Lake Recreation Area is closed during that time. Plus, there would likely be a whole lot of snow. I was just in this area in mid-June. It's now late June, and when I was here in mid-June, there was still feet upon feet of snow on the trail. Most of the trail to Lake Isabel, for example, was covered in snow, but now 2 weeks later, the trail up to Blue Lake was for the most part dry of snow. There were still some little snow patches that I did have to walk through, but mostly the trail was pretty dry. And when I say it was fairly dry, I mean dry of snow, because there definitely was water running on the trail in some places, and there was a little bit of mud. I almost slipped at one point, but luckily I caught myself. I would also say that this trail is a little bit rockier and a little rougher on your feet and your balance than the Lake Isabel Trail. So if you or someone you're with, have a harder time with elevation, or you're not in the best hiking shape and you're trying to decide between Lake Isabel and Blue Lake, I would say they're both exceptionally beautiful, so you can't go wrong with either one. But I would say the Lake Isabel Trail is a little bit easier, and it's a little shorter as well. That one is about 4 miles round trip when the trailhead is open versus this one, which is about 6 miles round trip. I love both of these trails though, so either way you can't go wrong. And if you can get a permit into this recreation area, I would highly, highly recommend coming here if you're visiting Colorado. This is one of my favorite places. If you hike this trail when you visit Colorado or you've done it before, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more hiking, backpacking, Appalachian Trail, and Colorado content. Happy hiking!